Right. Okay. So do we want to do the review for the random input first? That's going to be simpler. And we could go through some reviews for your stuff, though, for your PRs. So I don't know, maybe we might pull some of them in anyway before waiting. Because like if any of them are uncomplicated enough that they're not going to interfere with anything else, then
I think most of them should be, except for the actual fix, but most of the other ones should be. But I did agree with just not adding. If we can get through all of one of the input or all of the random server ones, and just get that in without merge conflicts, that would be nice, because it shouldn't it shouldn't really affect much else, but there could still be like small merge conflicts. So
yeah. I did want to say we talked briefly about the select element and the decoding that goes on there. And you said you hadn't run into any that are double encoded. I have run into ones that are double encoded. I haven't run into ones that are triple encoded, but I believe they could be out there. So I just wanted to have you aware of that.
Yes.
But I don't know if it was on a select field, but I have run into them elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
So, and I really wish there was some kind of flag like 64 at the end of base 64 encoded things. But
I feel like I need to go through, do a quick search through the Dockassemble code base and figure out like where that's happening in the first place, or why it even needs to be double encoded. There's no reason any of it needs to be double encoded.
Yeah, well, I think he just doesn't do that. He's errs on the side of being cautious instead of figuring out exactly where everything needs to be encoded, which I can totally understand and totally works, except for this particular use case. So
yeah, well, I think he has to have it. There's somewhere in Dockassemble code that understands that things are double or triple encoded. Otherwise, like, none of this would work, because because like the JavaScript stuff would get back something that's double encoded, and it needs to know how many times to unencode it. So there has to be some sort of rules to it, and I think we need to figure out where those rules are.
So that I can show you how to search for a bit better than just randomly searching, which is bracket B quote or bracket R quote. Open bracket, open square bracket, B quote, or open square bracket R quote. That's how you prefix as objects, and so that might be a good place to look for.
Gotcha.
Like a thread, like where to start pulling that thread.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think I know I've seen bracket B searches somewhere in the Kiln code before. So
yeah, that's in the checkbox, I think, or in the object. It's where get variable names, get possible variable names, or something like that. But yeah. So.
Okay, cool. So just I was gonna say, were there other things that we just want to do, or is it just sort of let's bang out some Kiln reviews?
I cannot. There probably are other things that would be useful, honestly, but I can't think of them right now. I mean, there could be the multi-signature thing or something, or the phone thing, but we never get to do Kiln stuff, so which is understandable.
It's the phone input. It's the default, right?
Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. We should do some kiln stuff.
It just is a good opportunity if that's something we can do.
Yeah. I think starting with the longer ones first would be better.
Yeah,
Are you still you're still on the server, or you're still trying to
yeah,
debug some
holy
servers?
moly, Bryce, it's insane. It's like so much more insane than I thought when I first made the PR. And I think I made that into a draft now.
Yeah. This one, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, it'll catch some things, but
Okay.
I don't know what checks were not successful, but
Yeah, that's fair.
we
Okay.
don't have to go there because
okay,
we're
cool.
we're not going to look at this for now. It's going to be
Yeah,
another little while.
Okay. Yeah, that does feel like it could
so-
absorb all of our time.
Yeah, I'm working with a friend who has kind of a lot more experience with this async kind of stuff than
Okay.
me, and hopefully we can work some more of this stuff out as we go on.
Mhm.
But I'm figuring out it's like a lot of little different quirks in different places, how the async is being handled in different places. So and a lot of like non-exiting processes and a lot of anyway. So I think the random input was the one that you haven't approved of yet, but you said that it was looking good, and I don't know if there's more to do.
There's probably not. I probably just haven't gotten back to this yet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this was a complete. I resolved it because that was a complete other thing. Did that? You did that? Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, that's my bad. I'm always bad on going back to check when things are ready. But yeah, I think was there any? I'm trying to think if there was any specific.
Is the change log in there changed? Is there a change log change?
Good question.
Not changed.
There is.
Oh, good.
Input. Yeah, packages, lib, some other stuffing. I think most of these were done. Okay. Yeah, I'm fairly confident with just like given all of these are already resolved, and I think we did talk about this, doing a quick approve review.
Okay. So you can just
especially knowing that I think we know that this one's not like MVP, but it's a huge step towards it. So
yeah, this is going to be. I'm trying to think about the async implications, but I'll have to do that later. Oh, my brain.
Cool. Okay, so that one is good. Do we want to merge this one now, or do you think? Essentially, I guess it comes. Okay. I think definitely. I'm still thinking the bigger ones before, but I don't know if it makes sense to do this one post async or not.
I honestly don't know, but I hate having these things hanging around.
Agreed there. Okay. Squash. I like this commit, or this one instead. So we'll change this really quick.
Yeah, I hate how it doesn't include your comments. It's so weird.
It's kind of weird, yeah. It's just, yeah. I think it's because GitHub honestly doesn't have a ton invested in making your Git commits look good. They want your PRs to look good, and they want to center the PR as the thing that you're looking at most, because that's the thing that's tied to their platform.
There's a last one that you didn't, just so you know.
What's
Use
awesome?
Faker EN to save loading time.
Oh, thanks. Cool. Okay.
Oh man, you're so thorough making this pretty and also very quick. So yeah, delete branch.
Perfect. Cool. And I will probably rebase some of these. I don't think none of them should have like merge issues now. Yeah, so they look like they would still be okay.
I might rerun. Well, I guess it doesn't do them in combination. I'll be interested in seeing, because I keep getting these errors where it doesn't matter. I get these weird errors with Cucumber a lot of times when merging happens and I have to merge the next thing, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Next one.
So,
It's really
okay. Prints the page ID story table failed on. I think I looked at this and it looked great. Unable to capture a screenshot.
Yeah.
You should be getting that error. That's not the error you should be getting, but.
Yeah, a lot of these things I sort of like accept that I will get weird errors when running locally sometimes. And I'm fine with getting the errors, but as I just do need a bit more information to like work around them.
Okay.
And ideally, like this also gives you more information. If you don't have, if you have, like if you run into this error in the report, but you don't run into the screenshot error, you still just have more information, and there's more stuff around that might be easier for you to see. So
yeah, it's weird. Oh, I'm wondering what happens that you get that error because I don't think I've seen it. But are you sure is so I'm trying to hang on. I'm trying to look a little bit in where this is. If num unused rows is greater than 0, missing variable or variables on the page. So I'm not sure that's what it means though. If there are any unused rows, it just means that some of these variables were not used. This is the story table, right?
this is, yeah.
So the thing is, you can have extra rows in the story table that are unused on a page. Hang on.
So it's there, but it's nested in this ensure all variables are used, which I think is only true if it's not a story table, but it's a like single, and I set this variable to be true.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's the context I was missing. Maybe a comment about since all variables should be used. No, because that's already at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I agree. I can approve that.
Ooh.
Could you say which variables were missing? Or that will show up as in unused rows, right?
I think
that will already show up in the report. I wish we could make that prettier and more understandable.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've been ruminating on that, how to do that well, but I haven't actually made that change yet. I think it's okay because it doesn't show up. It doesn't like we don't directly print it in the report, but this only happens on like, and I set this variable to that or like this value, and this error shows up right below that is like because that's the step that failed, and so it'll say I set this variable to XYZ, and it says missing variable or variables on page that, and so it's very clear that you're missing this one variable. It's this. I think this
But
sometimes.
this isn't the actual Cucumber error is what it is, and people shouldn't be looking at that. They should mostly be looking at the report. But I think the report will say.
I think the report shows it at the same time too, though, right? Does it not? Because
It shows,
will go through page by
it
page.
shows the unused rows, like it lists the unused rows.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're right. I haven't been looking at this because I think it shows it here.
Because we all look at the I wish there was a test for it. That's, I suppose, is the main thought I have right now, to make sure that this actually. The other thing is that instead of parentheses, I generally use quotes. But we don't have to be consistent about that right now. We can think about that later.
Okay. That's a small enough change that I'm okay with just changing these to quotes now.
How did you do a suggestion so fast?
I just know where to. This, I think. If you press the blue.
Well, that's a comment.
Well,
I immediately put a suggestion there.
Oh, I think I clicked that.
That. Okay, there we go.
I didn't think I did that quickly. Did I? See, now I'm questioning myself.
That's okay.
Oh, I know sometimes if you select it. No, it doesn't do that. Okay, whatever. I guess I just clicked it really quick.
Anyway. And so like it would be great to have a report test of that.
What would
just write an issue for it.
What would the report test be? Because just checking that it's the right page.
Just checking that appears on the page. That
this
when
already
variable, that message appears in the report.
I want to see if there is already one, because this is a feature that was already there.
There might be.
But it's not showing up. But it's not showing up at all, so it's confusing when I try to search it. There we go. It's just really slow. There's a session var test. Names all missing variables. Yeah. There's a it's reports feature, or reports.feature rf17 is the scenario that it fails with a var not on the page.
Okay.
And it's just looking for scenarios. Report should include missing variable or variables on page, and so it's finding that part, and I just added some extra information on the back.
Okay, so you can add the thing should include, because you can have multiple ones of that. The report should include, you can just copy that and paste it in.
Again.
And then see that it, and with the different text, right? No. So show me share your code thing, and I can show you what I mean.
Sorry, I should have put this on there.
So, and the report, blah, blah, should include, yeah. That's fine. That's good.
Yeah, so I'm also wondering if for this particular PR we want to be more specific on the page ID it fails on.
Sure.
I'm arguing that I don't think we should. That's what I'm trying to ask if that's what you're asking. I don't think we should, because it feels like this is still a very good test, and it's testing all it is, and adding more information is just going to make it a bit more brutal without too much.
Yeah, that's my feeling as well. I generally haven't been putting in specific information, which...
Perfect. We are on the same page there then.
Though in general, I think we should just be adding new files instead of adding new stuff to tests. Yeah. So
that's fair. That I feel has other complexities, especially when it's in several different repos. But
so you'll want to
separately. Okay.
Push that one first before changing this one, because otherwise you'll have conflicts.
Push which first?
push the test first. I think
The test was
otherwise
the test is there. I didn't change anything in the code.
the test about the missing variable or variables.
Yes, missing variable or variables on page was added by you a year ago.
Oh, geez. Then what is the code that you changed? Oh, missing variable or variables on page. You just added the ID. God damn.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm so tired. Yeah. Okay. Then
All
that
good.
sounds good. That's that. No wonder you were confused. That totally makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So I will. Yeah, I'll just commit this really quick. Will I though, or will
Examine page ID
rebase?
needs to change and get simpler, but that will be for some other day.
Yeah, that's not a big issue. Right now, at least. Let me actually rebase everything. Okay, pulling the big old branch and checking out. This branch is called page ID on missing. If anyone at GitHub stumbles across this video, please show the branch ID somewhere else in the page. I hate having to scroll all the way up just to find the branch ID.
What?
Every time I'm on a GitHub PR, I have to scroll all the way to the top to find like which branch this actually is, like the PR is.
Oh yeah.
They show the PR information everywhere else, but they don't show what branch it is. And I never, I don't really care. And I guess that they're not going to do it. They know, they want you to use the GitHub.
Their priorities, yeah.
Yeah, they want you to use the GitHub CLI command where you could just write 577.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say there isn't anything in the changelog for this. I keep forgetting about the changelog.
Okay. Is it big enough for? I guess it's big enough for a changelog because it is being changed.
Nah, whatever.
Okay.
like I think it's not that big a deal.
I'll add it. It's not too bad. If I can find the changelog.
So pull first.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to push the changelog and then I'm going to commit the like quote change on top of it.
Okay.
And at least. Add. Just missing variable.
Sure, that's close enough, I think.
I'm just going to see variable or variables on page.
Can't believe it has spell check. Mine doesn't have spell check yet.
Yeah, it's honestly, I feel like there's so many things in my VS Code that it just slows things down. Cool.
I need to publish. It's been so long since I've published that I've forgotten what my workflow is.
I wonder if you can post, or yeah, I don't know anything about publishing to NPM, but I do know, like, it's very nice to have put all of the PyPI publishing stuff in GitHub workflows, such that all I have to do is like go to the GitHub, make a release page, and just type in all the stuff there, and it like then magically makes the PyPI release. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, it's just a bit much for me at the moment.
No, that's fair.
I mean,
Yeah, I would often do
have
it.
to
And I'm
learn
sure.
it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just a matter of doing it. I'd have to learn it. So, and then get it wrong for a few hours. And
That's
yeah.
fair. Yeah. No, I understand. It's committed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the tests will fail because there's too many changes pushed at once, but I'll retest and then I'll approve.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Maybe I'll just merge. Oh, no, don't do it, Michelle. It's the wrong move. Always.
Just gonna note that we did this on. Oh, you can still go back and review later, or do it actual.
Yeah, though I wish we had the time and date, but okay.
We'll have the time and date whenever I make this comment.
No, I know, but we won't know how long into the video it is. I wish we could timestamp the videos automatically. We could just be like, here's a timestamp, but that's
fair. We started it. I'm gonna guess anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes into the stream.
Yeah.
Because we started at around 11:50. Somewhere
Okay.
between 11:50 and 12.
Yeah. All right, perfect. You know what? I'll approve, and then based on the tests, you can merge.
Okay. Yeah. Can do.
Looks great. Merge, then tests pass. And if the tests don't pass, just rerun one test. Just like the last test. Just rerun it.
Yeah.
And it may take a couple times. Assembly line itself, it fails so many times. I hope the reload feature really helps it because it fails so many times. It takes so many reruns to make it work.
Yeah, I'm mildly concerned with just the document stuff.
Yeah.
It's not even like timeout issues half the time. Half the time I feel like it's like, oh, DocAssemble just doesn't know where this PDF that it claims it generated 2 seconds, like 0.2 seconds ago is. So that's sometimes an issue. I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. I feel like it must be a timeout. It must be the server reload issue. That's what my assumption was, but maybe it's not.
I feel like that maybe it is, but maybe I feel like that should be ideally should be caught earlier, but maybe it's not. And I feel like it's got to be something with S3 because I don't feel like I run into it as much locally. I say it still takes a while, but like I don't run into this PDF just doesn't exist. So I feel like it has to be something about S3.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
For this,
let's look at the next one. Throw an error if story table doesn't have the header row.
So this is the thing I've run into a few times where let me pull up that missing variable part in a feature, or like just looking for a quick report with a story table, so I can sort of show what I end up doing sometimes.
Yeah, I know. You just forget to put the header row in. I mean, I do it all the time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was mostly like I feel like I run into it often more if I'm trying to like screenshot a specific page or do something that I can't do in a story table in the middle of a story table. So I have to split up the story table.
Honestly, what I would rather do is just if it doesn't have the headers, just accept it, just like transform it, right? And just be like, I am going to assume that the first column is this, the second column is this, and the third column is this property, right?
Do we have, so that's the thing I'm not sure is, do we have the column information?
I mean, we have it's a set of arrays. So like it's 3 arrays, right? It's an array with.
I thought they were maps. Because specifically we do stuff like row.var and row.value. And that's why it fails, because the
it's-
first row is whatever it ends up being, and so it's under an
right.
arbitrary value.
But Cucumber, if it doesn't have a header row, it just gives it as, a database, right? With just no column. It's arrays. It doesn't have any, it's not a map, it's just arrays.
How does it?
Cucumber is fine with having a data table that is just rows and columns. It doesn't need headers. Cucumber doesn't care whether it has headers or not. We're assuming that it has headers.
My question is, how does it know if it's a header or not?
It's got that line under it, I think. Doesn't it?
No, I think it's
check
just
real quick.
Most of the instances I see of it are just this, and it doesn't have a specific line underneath.
Oh, that's true.
And so I don't know if it just always.
That's true. It assumes that there's a header row. Maybe that's the thing I was running into.
Yeah, and it might do something fancier if it like, I know that this can't be an object, or if there's something's empty, it might do something smarter. But
still, we could try to assume that the first column is var, the second column is value, and the third column is trigger, even though it'll say double quote dict blah 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 blah, right? It could assume instead, and then move that down to be one of the values. I don't know. I think there would be a way. I think there could be a way, but I think this is not bad as a, the idea is not bad as a
thing to improve. Okay.
Thing to improve. So as an improvement for now, at least.
Do you know where that might be in the documentation? Because that was the thing I actually was struggling with, is I don't know where Cucumber talks about where it's like, I couldn't find anything about like data blocks in Cucumber.
Data table, I think it's called.
Data table.
Or maybe it's just table. I don't know.
Okay, there's these third-party stuff. Maybe it's just their own documentation is not good.
I mean, they have a third-party library parsing the rows and displaying the rows and stuff. Parsing the table, I think.
I see.
Or maybe it's just how it displays the table. Never mind. Cucumber JS table. Data table. What Cucumber? Source official guide. Official guide. This is not the official guide.
Conversion can be done by Cucumber or manually, depending on table shapes is one of the common options.
So some of these examples that I see do have, I see.
Ooh, I don't want Java. Oh, it does by default in Java as well.
Well, some of them it's hard to tell if they have a header or not.
Yeah. For example, okay. Mostly I think
you can turn it into. I think you can turn it into an array of arrays instead of map. I think I remembered that.
Okay, if it's a thing that it's possible to do, I will try to do that.
I think this is an okay improvement. I think I've made an issue for being able to interpret it differently, but I think that this is an okay improvement.
Okay.
Should search for that. Oh man. So there's a
Okay. Worst case, I'll look and see if I can find that issue.
Yeah. So here's a thing about, I'm going to put it in the Zoom chat.
Mhm.
Thing about raw, which I think was what I was using when I first decided to give up on it. Which might turn it into an array. I don't know. Table interface.
Gotcha. So that looks okay.
So
now-
here we go. Here we go. I found the documentation. Thank goodness. Okay. Here's the documentation, and you might add it to the PR, or I could add it to the PR, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I'll add it to that comment for sure.
I can add it.
Yep. Right.
Just FYI, this is how we in the future think have an issue you can probably process
Oh yeah, it just skipped.
table without a header row. Transform by using raw. Okay. So, but that aside, let's just look at what is here, because bad table message, your table definition is bad. Your story table definition, I would say, is bad. The first row should be bar value trigger. Are you not going to look for trigger there?
I wasn't, because theoretically,
you know what var and value
never
is,
use a
right?
trigger.
Yeah, but the header should always have a trigger, but maybe it doesn't always have to have a trigger. I don't remember. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I feel like we might, because if otherwise it's just trigger will always be undefined, and if it never looks, it might cause some other stuff to be like some other variables to end up being undefined. But if we never actually are like on a generic variable, or if someone has 0 generic variables on their in their story table, then it should never be used, right?
Yeah. So we can't tell that at the beginning, but yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but it's just like,
sorry,
it's a
I was
possibility,
thinking
yeah,
about a
like,
different issue. I was thinking about a different issue.
Okay.
So the other thing I notice is that you're using reference error, and reference error is when a variable cannot be found. So it hasn't been instantiated. So this information is not missing, it's just bad information. If you want, we can look at JavaScript errors, JS error types, and try and find a better error for it.
Well, arguably, row.value is not instantiated. I think that was rough, maybe why I chose this one, but I guess maybe there is a better one that's more pointing to the core of the issue and not the actual issue. So
declared variable. Strict reserved identifier that parsing malformed formal parameter. It might be a syntax error, right? Because a syntax error is like you're not using the correct expected symbols. What do you think of that? I will link you the page I'm looking at. And I have to, this before it gets cold or I will be in trouble. So I'm looking at syntax errors.
It's muted the whole time. We were on the same page.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see your screen before.
No, sorry, you're good. Sorry, I think some of the things I was saying was I was also on mute. I think that syntax error is more for there's a JavaScript, like an error in your JavaScript.
Well, I mean, so are all these errors. Like,
maybe, yeah. Okay, I guess these are all just errors thrown by JavaScript, so I guess that would be fair.
So if we were to think of what type of error this is, what is this closest to? I would say that it's the syntax error, but we can just throw an error. We don't have to necessarily throw a type of error.
Can we throw default error? I might throw default error then, because I'm afraid about syntax errors. You're right, closer to like the core of the thing, but we can't change where we're throwing it from, and so it will just always, like, no matter what, it's always going to lead people back to this one particular case. And I don't feel like throwing it any different type of error is not going to make it super clear what exactly is happening. The error statement is what's going to make it clear. So I think if we just show error, read this thing that's right after the error, and don't focus on syntax or reference or something like that, that might be the best take. Okay.
And just so you know, for that, you can just do throw. You don't have to.
You just throw a string. C lets you do that.
But you can do throw error. That is also okay.
Okay, I might do that then. Throw error. Just to make
and
it
did you know you can commit stuff in batches?
Yes, I have seen that. It is neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so your story table definition is bad. Actually, I want to change this to be.
Should it be capital S and capital T? I don't know.
I have a strong disagree with you on that, which I think you've mentioned it a few other things, and I don't think of them as proper nouns per se. And it makes me more confused when they're capitalized versus they're not capitalized.
Oh, that's a different discussion then. It's
a different discussion, yeah. I don't want to get too deep into it, but if we want to for now, for consistency, because I know it is in a lot of other places, I'll change.
Why using LIC? Got it. Quotes.
Will that screw things up? Yeah, I was going to trying to just note this is the exact thing that should be in.
Okay,
Actually think I'm missing.
I think that might be more confusing because it won't be.
Would that be more confusing? Okay.
I would say do it the other way around, where this is quoted.
I see. Okay.
You need another space after trigger. I mean, you don't need one after trigger. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I think people will be more familiar with something quoted than something. I'm afraid they will.
If we're not automatically
they'll just put backticks in there, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, it's fair. If markdown isn't making it look nice, then
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I said I was gonna capitalize those.
And then it's okay if you want to go with yours.
No, I think we should be consistent for now. We'll have the longer discussion later. It should be consistent.
Okay. The other thing is, well, one thing is the change log, and the other thing is possible test for this. But we can just make that an issue.
I'd be okay with adding the test. Although I will say, if I'm adding the test, I'll look into the cucumber raw, like calling raw instead and just auto doing it. But I think either way, I think I agree. A test is a good idea.
Okay.
This isn't critical. This is a very nice user friendly thing to do, but it's not like a bug that needs to be fixed right now. So.
Okay.
I'm okay with.
All right.
Just adding that.
So we'll just leave that PR as it is for now in that case. I mean, you can turn it into a draft if you want, so we remember that it doesn't need to be handled at the moment.
I don't think you can turn things into drafts once you make them not drafts. Can you?
You can. Yep.
That must be a new thing. I remember not being able to do that at some point. Okay.
Maybe. Don't remember, honestly.
Okay. I'll change it back into a draft. So where does that go?
So up at the top and on the right. Change to nope. Where you assigned me. Still in progress. Change to draft.
Oh, that's wacky. Okay. Oh, double click. Interesting. Okay, that's definitely a new thing because I don't remember that being there. Cool. Okay then.
It was at some point. I know that. Okay. And I think we have time for at least one more.
Yeah. If we're doing one more, I want to go for this one because it is a breaking thing for me.
So I'd love to be able to recreate this.
In a test or something? You mean? Or like in a new interview?
Sorry, just a second. Like make an interview where this, oh, not this one. The one that was just above the one we were doing.
Object radio?
No.
Or, this one.
Retry, yeah.
I see. Okay, we did have a conversation there.
Oh, I didn't see your response. Hang on. Okay. Sub-elements. Just making things more rigorous. Well, we don't have a test for it, I think, at all, do we?
Yeah, but I think that's the thing is, I can't I mentioned like finding that in the source code, but that's not a thing. Like I don't know all of the places that a like DA retry or that block quote is added. Like I don't know all of the places where that would actually show up in an interview, and I think that might be dependent on the interview because like the interview itself can like through validation errors and stuff add separate things. So essentially, I haven't been able to consistently reproduce it, and I honestly don't know why it's happening. But I do know that it sometimes happens to me, and this is the fix, or at least specifically that it like dumps me out on this line, and that error handle is null, and so.
Okay. So, yeah. So my idea with this, which is actually exactly what's happening right now, is that we would just continue to handle new like cases as they appeared. So we could get block quote and we could get pre and use the one that exists and then continue to let just specific cases accrue as opposed to not getting any information, right? So what I'm saying is like we could account for this situation as well, as opposed to just giving a random error.
Can we? So I still like having this default though, where it's clear that something has gone wrong.
Okay.
And if possible, I guess what we could do is, so the thing is that I wasn't able to actually figure out what's happening because again, it's not consistent, and so it's some
Hmm.
weird like probably backend docassemble thing that happens sometimes and doesn't
Well, you
happen.
said if you go to the wrong playground, right? You go to the wrong address or something. That
Was it wrong address?
causes it. I don't know. In your comment, you said at the top. I think I'm getting a call that I might need to take. No, I'm not going to take it. So in the comment you said, so I mean, maybe this isn't consistent, but, and my computer isn't going to the page, so I don't know what's happening. This prevents a full crash of counts. Sometimes when the interview can't be loaded, if something went wrong with the playground installation, or I'm pointing at the wrong playground.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
I'm pointing at the wrong playground seems like a testable thing if it does actually happen consistently.
Yeah, I'll check. The thing is, I don't. I'll double check. I don't remember if it was consistent on the wrong playground. But
okay, you can, but we can also.
It's a very easy test to see if that like just change the playground really quick and if it still shows up.
So the message itself, I think, is not clear enough. Retry error. Docassemble, we can say docassemble says there's an error, but we can't see what it is.
So
Like,
so
I was going to say the screenshot.
This is going to be the one that would be helpful is if I can, if it would be okay if we can just get, so error element still, no, error element doesn't exist. Error ID element still exists. If we can.
In both cases?
Yes, because we're inside of this if.
Okay.
Can we dump the value of like the text content of this into?
I think it's pretty messy. I think it's messier, but we can try.
That's fair. I feel like most of the issue, which maybe this one isn't a reproducible thing, but sometimes I just have issues like trying to go to the exact page that it's on and then see, oh, we expected there to be a block quote, but what is there instead? Like, I don't know what there is instead because Puppeteer closes out automatically, and I don't know, and sometimes I don't know like what page it's on or
Does
like
it
what
not
URL.
Take a screenshot?
I don't think so. No, it won't take a screenshot if it errors out because this is an undefined error. So the JavaScript stops executing, at least from what I understand.
I don't think the JavaScript stops. I think the scenario stops executing and goes into the after step.
Okay.
That's what happens when an error happens in a scenario, is it goes to the after step where there should be a screenshot taken.
Okay.
That's kind of why I want to be able to reproduce this kind of thing, because then we could check. Well, I wish I'd figured this out before, but didn't get there yet.
Okay. If this one needs more work, then it can take more work.
But at least, I mean, I think aside from everything else, we could merge this with a clearer message and an entry in the change log. And we can say docassemble is showing an error, but Kiln can't see what it is. Check the screenshot or something like that. Or the page is showing an error, the docassemble page is showing an error or something like that. This could be because of something or other. I don't know, like something more clear than a retry error, because people don't know that there's an element called DA retry. It doesn't say I guess the page often says retry, so
Yeah, I don't remember what exactly it does.
yeah.
But I think I want to see what exactly, because again, I don't. This was half of these changes are just things like small, like one line fixes that I like threw in Kiln locally and then kept testing because I was trying not to get stuck on fixing a whole like keep pulling the string.
Yeah.
And so but at this point I probably waited too long and I have no idea what actually went on, or like where I encountered this or sort of what else was around it.
Yeah.
And so I do want to, if we I do still think
if you want to do it more thoroughly, we can. If we want to just have a fix in, I'm okay with that. I'm okay for having a temporary fix that just improves the situation, especially because we're going to have a fallback anyway. Just, I want the message to be more clear.
Okay.
So I think a fallback is not a terrible idea anyway.
Okay. All right. I have to hop off for a sec. There's something.
Sure.
On my front door.
Hello, everybody. I'll pop off too.
Hello, I am back.
Hello.
But
so yeah, that's my take on it. Like, it's good to have a fallback, so I'm not against having a fallback in general, so I don't see why to reject this PR. But I do think the message should be a bit more clear to the person who runs across it, and I think it's not quite there yet.
That's fair. Yeah. I feel that's fair. I'll
want to work on the message itself, but I agree it's useful to have a fallback message. But if you want, we can like discuss the message now ourselves while we're here.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, I don't think I can stay on for too much longer.
Yeah,
but I guess so. And that's the thing, is I think I just don't, without reproducing it, which I can just try to do now. Like, I don't think I will. I know what to make the message better because I don't remember what the context was of running into this at all.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But it can just be something like docassemble ran into an error on the page, and just leave it at that. Like, Alekiln does not have any more information.
I see. Okay. If we're okay, it was just something as big as that, but
it would be nice to know if it takes a screenshot or not. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But I think it will take a screenshot. I'm pretty sure. I've run into page errors before, and it's taken screenshots.
Okay. Yeah, maybe there are just other times. Maybe this was just also another time where I ran into that, like, protocol error that happens, which, from what I understand, is just Puppeteer closing Chrome too soon. And if it closes Chrome,
it usually says that the context has been lost.
Does it? Okay. So maybe it's a different thing.
Yeah, I don't know what a protocol error is. But yeah, if that happens and Puppeteer closes, then there wouldn't be an error message, but I wish we could reproduce it, because that's a thing that I would really want to, but that's a different error, and we can just say that we don't know what happened.
Cool. I'm running it locally to see what.
I don't know. I don't know how you got to see what the screen looks like under those circumstances if it wasn't reproducible. Like, I don't know how you could have gotten into the DOM to see that there was a pre-error. I mean, that there was a different element there.
So that's the thing, is I didn't, because I still haven't been able to like get into the DOM to see what the issue is, but I can go through docassemble and see, sometimes like anywhere that there's DA retry, sometimes the contents of that are like, it puts a block quote and other times it puts a pre, but you're right, you're exactly right. When I'm running into this error, I don't know how to reproduce it and get exactly what's in DA retry, or
even if it appears at all.
Yeah, so I think actually I'm realizing the issue I may have seen. If I saw this code, I saw that it finds that there's an element called DA retry, and then I saw that it just grabs a block quote on the page. And I didn't know if the block quote is inside of DA retry or if it's just something that also shows up separately on the page. And because I didn't have the full page information, like I didn't know what exactly we're looking for. So I think that was probably why I decided to take the easy way out.
So I think there is a potential for missing this. And so I think it should be fixed, but I don't know if it solves the error that you are talking about. Does that make sense? As a theory, it's a hypothesis.
Vaguely, yeah. It's like a hypothesis, but it's not.
Like, we don't know whether or not this protocol error is really associated with the pre-tag or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be good to put in a fix for the pre-tag, right? But we don't have to do that right now. We can just have a fallback.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay.
I don't know how we're gonna troubleshoot it after we throw the error. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm checking now. If it takes the screenshot, we can say it's in the screenshot. I feel like sometimes I just also get in the habit of always checking the screenshots.
Yeah.
Let me see if I run it to the same thing or if it's something else. No, see, if I just change the playground path, it shows up. I still get a reference to invalid playground path.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a very specific way of failing, and I don't remember exactly how that was.
Okay.
But as I keep using this, I'll see if there's anything more specific I can run into.
Yeah.
To say, I guess. What do you think it's worth it to say, like, if a screenshot was taken, check the screenshot?
Sure.
Oh. Okay.
So, yep. And then we should make an issue to take care of the special case of a pre-tag.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I'll comment that. I'll do the special GitHub issuable thing.
Sure. can give the title something else.
Yes. Slash. Cool.
Okay.
If this is good now, I can commit.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so that's good. I will.
Okay.
We'll check the tests and then see how it goes. But otherwise, no, actually, okay. Last one. We don't have to do the radio one yet, but this one I am curious with. It's not like a. I don't think it's full yet. Like I think we'll probably want tests. I'm realizing now we'll want like tests and changelog and stuff for it, but I do want to see if you're okay with a change like this, where we can add there is another true, or sorry, there is another false in tables.
So my main concern is one, adding kind of another exception and level of complexity.
Yep.
And the other is adding a level of flexibility for the developer that adds a level of complexity for them. So if we were to have this, I would say we can have this, but don't put it in the documentation.
I'm okay with that.
So that if it's accidental, then it happens and is like, this is permissive, but adds branching complexity that may not be necessary. Adding a test can help with that. I'm going to make this into a review comment, actually.
Okay.
The other, either way, if this is implemented, I'd rather leave it out of the documentation to avoid the user confusion. That way, if it happens accidentally, e.g. with the story table generator, this is permissive. This is not a blocker, but it avoids people trying to explicitly use it. Okay, so I'm just going to add a comment, a review comment. So I think with a test and maybe a changelog comment. I'm worried about even the changelog comments, but maybe a changelog comment with the caveat that it shouldn't be documented.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not worried about a changelog comment. Or specifically, if someone's doing this from scratch, they should always go to the documentation and it won't be there. But
should not be documented. Okay. Okay, so those are the circumstances under which I think it can be used. Do you want me to just approve, and if you write a test and it works and you write the changelog, like you can just take care of whatever it is?
if you want to, I'm okay with just doing those. I just wanted to know what this one feels like the most like changeable of like actually changing other behaviors and not just small innocent patches that just make things more rigorous. So I'm okay with not approving until it's actually ready.
I'm just worried that I might be out of commission by that point.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, okay. In that case, if you want to approve, then I will add the tests and add everything else.
Describe. This should be good. So let me know if you want another review. I'm going to add to the changelog description thing. I'm just going to add and why
it's
not being documented. Okay. Because I don't want someone in the future to come back and read that and be like, well, why is it's not being documented? Is it so top secret? Like, I don't want that to be an issue for discussion.
No, yeah, this is definitely we're not forcing you to do it, but we are heavily encouraging you to do things the simpler way.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I was a little disappointed when I read into this case because I was like, oh yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
Example does not make this easy.
No, it doesn't. But there's no way the story table can, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's not, well, with the trigger variable. No, because it's the same thing.
It's the same. It's the exact same one.
Trigger
it's like
variable. That's why we're doing it. Yeah, I remember.
Doc-assemble gathering. Doc-assemble gathering is specially like re-asking things that you've already answered. So,
which is good. I mean, it works. It works.
It doesn't work in a data table. Is the only issue, really. Like if it wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't a data table thing, and we would just have to say, oh yeah, fill in the address, fill in name. If when I get asked, is there another, do it again, and you can do that, and that would work fine. I think. I don't think we would actually have a throw in. Maybe I'll check. I'll see if that would throw an issue in if we made a longer interview that explicitly each step was laid out and we did. Is there another? True.
No, it doesn't. Is there another with steps? Doesn't bother it. It specifically set that up. You can do is there another in steps, but you can't do is there another in the table. I think Doc-assemble just is missing some useful information. That's all, and it's understandable because it's never been used in this way. But it makes things difficult for this particular use case. That's all.
Okay, then. I was going to say, the only thing that isn't in yet is this one, but we've talked about it a bit before.
Yeah. Yeah. And we should set aside some time to talk about it.
Yes,
And,
yeah.
like,
I just need to
more
hop off.
specifically. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Bruce.
All right. Thank you, Michelle.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.